Hello there and welcome back to another video. Now, I'm going to go on a different sort of tangent. Normally I'm very Liverpool based, but we're not even going to talk about Liverpool whatsoever. If you are looking for a Liverpool video, I have done the Arsenal versus Liverpool preview. Please feel free to check out the channel. It should be the video listed just before this one. If you want to check that one out, it's like an 18-minute video talking about Arsenal, talking about Liverpool and the game as well. So feel free to check that one out and leave your thoughts on there as well. We're going to talk about top four, and we're going to talk about the top four race. And I want to talk about it because it's just something that I look at. And obviously, you know, for the last couple of seasons, we haven't had to worry about the top four too much because of where we've placed and how many points we've got in at least this season and the last season as well. However, I look at the race for top four. I'm not even really going to talk about Man City because I do believe that they are now literally uncatchable with 3 games to go. They're on 72 points. So it is literally about places for third and fourth. Now, we're just going to go through the points. It'll be the last time I think that I'll mention Liverpool. Liverpool being on 93 points at this moment in time. Man City on 72. Chelsea on 60. Leicester on 59, Manchester United on 59, Wolves on 55, Sheffield United on 54, Tottenham are on 52. Now, it is literally impossible for Arsenal to get top 4. It is. It's impossible for them to get top 4. They can get 9 points. Leicester could lose all of their games. Arsenal aren't going to make up a 22 goal difference deficit when they've got Liverpool and Man City coming up. So that's why I'm not talking about Arsenal in this particular video. Basically, it's an outside chance at top 4 for Tottenham, but every single team above them has to make mistakes and has to lose games. And to be honest, that's not out of the realms of impossibility because it just seems to be what's happening at this moment in time. It really, really is. When I look at what has happened recently, you know, Leicester, I want to have a look at their last game that they just had, and I'm pretty sure it was the one against Bournemouth where they got beat 4-1. Leicester, in their most recent form, have won 3 times. They've lost 4 times, lost 4 times, drawn 3 times. So out of the last 10 games, I believe it is, they've only won 3, which was against Palace, Villa, and Birmingham in the Cup. I believe, well, yeah, it must have been in the Cup as well. Like, it's just not a good run of form that stretches back quite a way. It's not great. It really isn't. Leicester have been in the top 4 since I can remember. Like, literally since I can remember. I think it was around Christmas time they had a little bit of a dip. They faced Liverpool. We beat them 4-0. Fair enough. But they were still, at that sort of point, well in with a shout on the title race. They were in with a shout of completely beating, Man City, maybe taking second place as well. For the longest time, Brendan Rodgers' team have been, like, people have been saying, all right, it's a race for 4th. That's all it is, it's a race for 4th. Then all of a sudden, this run of form, or bad form, I should say, has come in for Leicester. It's not looking great. Leicester look like the most susceptible to dropping out the top 4 right now when they look like one of the most secure being in the top 4. It's quite a drastic turn of events, and for a Brendan Rodgers led team, obviously people are turning around unfairly saying that he's it's not the first time he bottled something in the Premier League, and it's like, that's harsh. It is harsh. He's done really, really well with this team, and it would be such not an injustice for Leicester not to get top 4, but for them not to get top 4 after all this time and to let either a Man United or a Wolves in. I have absolutely no idea. Like, it would be really difficult for Leicester to, would they continue? It could go either one of 2 ways. Either they come back next year and they're absolutely right. We are getting top 4. We are securing top 4. And we are not leaving this league this season, like next season, without top 4 minimum. Because they were very, very good at the start of the season. It was pretty much a 3-horse race, I should say, between Liverpool, Man City and Leicester for a long, long time. Then Leicester started to drop a little bit. Man City weren't having the best of seasons at that point either, and Liverpool were just, Liverpool were doing what we've done this season. That's all I'll say. Those two teams dropped off quite significantly, and then Leicester have continued to drop off significantly. The fact that they've still got Jamie Vardy, who is, I think, 3 goals out in front in the Golden Boot race, is exceptional because they're scoring the goals. But for them to go through what they've gone through recently, results-wise, is just nothing short of shocking. They can still turn it round, but they've got Manchester United literally on their heels. In fact, they're crawling over the heels and they're almost at the tippy toes. That's almost where they're at the moment. Both teams, Leicester and Man United, are on 59 points. Goal difference, plus 29 for Leicester, plus 26 for Man United. I'll come on to Man United in a little bit as well. We need to look at Chelsea. Chelsea, on the other hand, haven't been too bad, but they are losing results at times when they shouldn't be. So if we just go and look at the matches that they've just recently had, they got beat 3-2 by West Ham. Shocking result. But then they went and put together 2 very good wins, in my opinion. 3-0 against Watford. Watford, a relegation battling team, so you'd expect a good result there, but they can be a difficult team for, as Liverpool fans well know. We well know that Watford can be a good team on their day. Oh my God, yes they can be. Chelsea versus Crystal Palace, they beat them 3-2, and you're thinking, all right, Chelsea are starting to turn around their form, they're starting to turn things around and really take this battle for top 4, seriously. And I'm not saying that they're not taking it seriously. And they've moved into 3rd place, which is very, very good for them. Really good for them. Shows that they've actually been able to overtake Leicester as well and put them into 4th. And, finishing 3rd, it can only be a good thing for them. And then they come up against Sheffield United. And don't get me wrong. Do not get me wrong whatsoever. Sheffield United and Chris Wilder have been exceptional this season. Exceptional. Very, very difficult team to play against. Not because, they sit back and they defend. The way they play is different to every single team in the league. That 3-5-2 that they play is so well executed, it is ridiculous. I've not seen anyone, since Conte did his 3-4-3 with Chelsea, I've not seen anyone come in with a formation like this, the 3-5-2, and how versatile it is as well. But it's executed so well by Chris Wilder's Sheffield United, and just literally, they picked off Chelsea almost at will. So Chelsea have got Norwich coming up, which puts them in good stead. Norwich are foot of the table, they are already relegated. That is their next game that they're going to play. In fact, is that tonight? It is tonight. It's Chelsea versus Norwich tonight. How about that? So that's an important game for them, though, because they need to put a little bit of daylight between them and Leicester, and also now Manchester United, who we now move on to, if I haven't just clicked off what I was meant to. There we go. How about that? Now, Manchester United, I need to look at their form. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. In their last 9 games, they've won 7 times and drawn twice. As a Liverpool fan, I like to try and do these videos unbiased, and that's exactly what I'm going to do. Manchester United's form, despite the teams that they may have come up against, and in that form also includes the Manchester City win, beating, Sheffield United, beating Norwich, beating Brighton, beating Bournemouth, beating Aston Villa. Yes, a lot of those teams, apart from Sheffield United, are lower in the table. But you can only beat what's put in front of you. And the fact that they've been beating teams and putting goals, like a good amount of goals, in the back of the net in those games has only improved their league position and improved their goal difference immeasurably. The fact that they're only 3 goals behind Leicester now, when if you even just go back maybe 2-3 months in the Premier League, take away and I mean go back to February, January, not just go back to March from the whole pandemic and everything, but go back a couple of months into January and you look at the form and how the Manchester United fans were feeling about Manchester United and the way that they were playing and about Ollie as well. You go back then and look at where they were. I don't think that they even had a sniff of Champions League football next season. Now, they can't rely on fifth place anymore. Manchester City's ban has been lifted, and they've been given a 10 or 9 million pound fine or whatever it is. So no one can rely on fifth position anymore, which I think a lot of people were actually sort of banking on fifth to be a position, a viable position for the Champions League as well. It isn't now. It is just top four, and then from fifth onwards, or fifth and sixth, it is Europa League qualification. Manchester United want to get themselves back into the Champions League. They are a big club. They are a huge club, if not the biggest club in the Premier League, if not one of the biggest clubs in the world. They need to be getting themselves back into the Champions League, and they are almost on course for doing it until they slipped up against Southampton. They were 2-1 up into the 96th minute, and they, some horrific defending let Southampton in for the equaliser. Made it 2-2. It also meant that Manchester United missed the chance of getting into the top four. They actually could have leapfrogged Chelsea into third. Manchester United into third position after the season that they've had this year. To find themselves in third is nothing short of miraculous and actually really good for them. I don't want to applaud Manchester United at all. I never do. But that would actually have been nothing short of exceptional. And you would have to believe that if they manage to get into third or fourth, once they get it, they won't let it go. That is what you would, if you're a Manchester United fan, that is what you would hope, is that they would, they'd get into the top four and not let it go. So it would mean that either Leicester or Chelsea would then have to fight for that other position, whether it's third or fourth. They slipped up against Southampton, but they have done very, very, very well. Their next game is going to be against Crystal Palace, and that is on Thursday. That's going to be a difficult game. It's Palace. They are a difficult team to play against this season. Can be very well organised, and also can be a goal threat this season as well. Manchester United, though, they score goals. In their last 4 matches, they scored 3 against Brighton, they scored 5 against Bournemouth, 3 against Aston Villa in a clean sheet, and they scored 2 against Southampton, even though they drew. They are scoring goals. They've got very talented players. Mason Greenwood, Bruno Fernandes, Pogba's looking, like he's been on some pretty good form as well. Rashford looks electric, but isn't necessarily putting the finishing touches on things at the moment. Martial looked incredible last night against Southampton. Just didn't necessarily have that finishing touch repeatedly. Like, there was one dribble that he went past loads of defenders and ballooned it into the stands, and you're just thinking, if you top corner that, it could have gone 3-1 at that point, I think, and that would have pretty much killed the game off as well. As hard fighting as Southampton were, that probably would have killed the game off, but it didn't. They've still got a very, very real chance of getting in the top four, but they have to show that they want it. The teams that they've beaten handily are lower down in the league. Apart from Sheffield United, lower down in the league. When we're talking about Brighton, Bournemouth, and we're talking about Aston Villa, we're talking about teams that were either just above the relegation zone or fighting relegation. They now need to do what they've done against the bigger teams. And whoever they come up against next, so Crystal Palace next, that's going to be difficult for them. They need to make sure, if they're wanting top four, that they go out and they put a battle on. They put a good attacking performance on, but defensive as well. Defensive can still let them down, as Southampton proved. We look at Wolves. Now, Wolves are 4 points off Leicester and Manchester United, and there's only 3 games to go. Their goal difference is never going to match either of these two, with only a plus 11. The other two obviously being Man United and Leicester being on plus 26 and plus 29 respectively. But Wolves, let me just look at their fixtures. They lost twice in a row to Arsenal and Sheffield United. Then they beat Everton handily. They come up against Burnley tomorrow night. That's going to be a difficult game as well. Burnley are just, they are a defensive nightmare. They are the team. They are the Sam Allardyce team, the Tony Pulis team that just, they do it well as well. And I'm not disrespecting Burnley there, but they drop back so far, and then they will try and hit them on the counter. Wolves have the physical presence in someone like a Raul Jimenez to make the difference, and also obviously Adama Traore as well. Now, Adama Traore is getting a little bit of a slating in some quarters, not by Wolves fans and certainly not by me, but by just saying all he's got is pace. All he's got is pace and a dink in the box. And you can simplify his game to that, but if that's how he's being coached to play in this team, you can't also forget what he did against Man City as well. 2 really nice finishes in one game, I think it was. Really nice low finishes as well. He has the ability to finish, chances. It's just having the composure as well to do so. Wolves are a very good team, and they deserve European football, but just what variety of European football they get. Let's make no mistake as well. Wolves are very active in the Europa League as well, and I expect Wolves to go quite far. I really do. If not the final, I would really love to see Wolves make the final, because if they make the final, I believe they could win it no matter who they come up against. And that could also be an avenue for them for the Champions League as well. So it's not all said and done for the top 4, and Wolves definitely aren't out of it. Neither is Sheffield United, really, but they do need a few things to go in their favour. They need Chelsea, more Leicester and Man United and Wolves to all drop points as well. Let's have a look and see who they are coming up against next. They are coming up against Leicester. So, Leicester are going to want to bounce back, but Leicester are going to be missing Soyuncu as well, because he got sent off against Bournemouth. Ridiculous what he was doing in the goal net as well. I don't know why he did what he did. He got sent off. He's a key defender for Leicester as well. I don't actually know who Leicester will bring in to shore up his position. Sheffield United, I think Sheffield United will win that. I do. I've got a feeling that they'll... Leicester, for me, they feel like a wounded animal that isn't going to recover anytime soon. And I don't like saying that. I've got absolutely nothing against Leicester whatsoever. I genuinely don't. Hand on heart, I have absolutely nothing against Leicester. How it feels to me is that if Leicester don't go out there and paste someone, and it's very, very few teams have given Sheffield United a pasting, I just feel that Leicester are... Let's go to the top 4. I think, looking at top 4 right now, Chelsea in 3rd, Leicester in 4th just on goal difference, Man United tied on points. There's 3 games left. I genuinely think that Leicester... Chelsea have got to play Liverpool as well. It depends what Liverpool turns up in that game. I genuinely think that Leicester will be the team that drop out the top 4. And I think that the top 4 could be Liverpool 1st, Man City 2nd, Manchester United 3rd, and Chelsea in 4th. When I say that, I'm literally saying what I think. I'm not saying that I want this to happen. As a Liverpool fan, I don't want Man United. I don't want Man United in the top 7. If I'm being honest, but if I'm giving you an unbiased opinion, I think that Manchester United will look at that Southampton game, kick themselves right up the arse, and they will power forward. They have to power forward. They can't go back to type of what they used to do and how they used to play and try and be, defensive and all that sort of stuff that they used to try and do and play like a 4-2-3-1, but it's really static and not much happens. They need to go through and almost give it some Kevin Keegan Newcastle football back in the 90s and just go and absolutely try and pace teams, whoever they come up against. Whoever they come up against is going to have a difficult game against Manchester United. Leicester need to show Brendan Rodgers' favourite word, character. I'll never forget that at all. We showed some character. But they do. Leicester really need to fight hard to keep this top 4 dream alive. There's only 3 games left. There's not a lot of time. There's literally about a week and a half. a week and a half is going to be the deciding factors on top four. Leicester have been in top four for, I'm pretty sure, if not from week one, as close as you could get to week one in the Premier League. It would be shocking to see Leicester drop out the top four. It would be redemption for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer to get in the top four. It would be outstanding to see Wolves get in the top four, or Sheffield United as well. What a story that would be. And Chelsea as well. For the players that they're bringing in my opinion, with Timo Werner and Hakim Ziyech, I'm iffy on how you say that name. I'm not entirely sure, but the players that they're bringing in will be wanting to play Champions League football and are the quality of Champions League football as well. So Chelsea have got a fight on their hands, in my opinion, but less of one than Leicester. It's all on Leicester, in my opinion. Leicester need to turn around and show that we've been in the top four for a reason. We want to stay in the top four. We want Champions League football. I want to see Jamie Vardy versus Sergio Ramos next season. That'd be ace. Imagine what that would be like. Ramos would just nut him. No, sorry, Vardy would just nut him. That's what I'm saying. Vardy would nut him and then be like, what? But to summarise this 22-minute video that wasn't meant to be this long, I at this moment in time, I believe that Leicester will drop out and Manchester United will get in there in either third or fourth. That is just what I feel. Let me know what you think in the comments below. This has been a very long video, so if you have managed to stay all the way through this video, you are a real champion, and I thank you for watching this entire video. Please do get your thoughts in though, because I've tried to stay as unbiased as possible, and I hope that has come across in the video genuinely. Not trying to do it like fake or anything like that. Genuinely want to look at it as unbiased as possible. So let me know what you think as well. Get your comments in, because this could literally go down to the wire, to the final day of the season, which is like a week away. So thank you ever so much for watching this video. If you have enjoyed it, please do like it and subscribe if you're new around here. Thank you once again, and I'll catch you later.